Hey all you 3Commas traders, how many of you are just getting started trading? My guess is a lot of you because you're watching a video about how to grow an account quickly. This is completely possible with 3Commas in your toolbox. And I would actually argue to say that it's even easier with 3Commas to grow your account quicker. Account building is a quick way to grow a small account into a big one by playing low volume charts. It doesn't always have to be low volume charts, but it's charts that have regular movements of large percentages, and you can maximize your gains on these small movements with small amounts quickly. It is not strange to 100%, 200%, 500% an account using A/B tactics. This is a legit thing, and it's easier than you realize. Before I go any further, credit has to be given to Quick Fingers Luke, who first introduced me to account building strategies. I have been using account building strategies with 3Commas, and the only way that I've been able to use account building effectively, working a full-time job and having a family, is using Smart Trade, where I can place my buy and my sell all in one click and let trailing take the rest of the profits in. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and let's get started. I'm looking at a coin on Bittrex called BSD or Bitsend. This is a great example of an account building chart. The reason that this chart is so great is because it regularly has huge pumps with fantastic percentages. Percentages such as 80%, 90%, 30%, and it gives, and it gives, and it gives. Reminds me of a really nice U2 song. How would I play this with 3Commas? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check out the order book. I'm not going to check out the order book to find out where the big groups are. I'm going to look at the order book to find out what's the average amount that people are buying and selling. I could look at the big walls as places where I want to place my order. 186 seems like a good place. There's a large order actually at 1890. So I'm going to go at 1893, just in front of this guy. And now I need to decide how much of my size I want to put in. Do I want to play with 0.06 Bitcoin just about? No, I don't want to play with a lot. Now, before you get confused, I want to explain something. The only way that this chart is pumping like this is because it's a low volume chart. And this is why I love it so much. Don't kill it, guys, okay? Go easy on it. The way that I determine how much to put into the trade, I look at the average trading volume. So I can see here that there are lots of people wanting to play. This is about 140,000 BSD. So let's say that 140,000, like that, I don't even have enough to do it. So we could say 14,000, but I don't even have that much Bitcoin. That would require 0.2 Bitcoin. So that would be 10% of this buy range right here from 1800 sats to, was it 1900 sats? There's a lot of people buying there. 14,000 BSD would be 10% of that trading volume. And I argue that that is not a good idea. You actually want to go with 1%. Yes, 1%. Why so low? The goal in account building is that you want to play with small amounts. And the idea is that you have a small account to begin with, so you won't have a crazy stack. So don't be trading like 1 or 2 Bitcoin on charts like this. You're going to get bogged down with some heavy bags. You'll never get, don't do it. Don't do it. So we're going to trade with 10% of the visible trading volume. Of course, I could go to Bittrex directly to see what their average 24-hour trading volume is, but I'm just going to use the order book to get an idea. Another reason I'm going to use the order book, I want to see how far I can get 1400 BSD up. So not a problem there, not a problem there. And with all these people wanting to buy, this price is going to shoot up here to 2150 pretty easily. And this is a pretty significant wall right there. It's safe to say that I could buy at 1893 and sell just before 21.5 and be just fine. Do I want to sell right at 21.5? No, never. Never ever sell at round numbers. Selling at 2100 is a bad idea. Selling at 2000 sats is a bad idea. Not because it's a weak percentage gain, but round numbers are awful. Don't do it. They're just too easy to type in, which is why I love this slider. I can say, well, I want to make 10% on this trade. 10% is very much within this range. I could easily make 10% on this next pop. So I'm going to leave it at 10%. The next thing I could do is enable trailing. If you're new to 3Commas and you don't understand trailing yet, check out this video right here and you can watch me talk to you about what I think is a good trailing deviation percentage to use. Knowing this chart and how bouncy it gets, I'm going to be okay with 1%, maybe 2%. So we'll be a little bit of a risk taker. A concept that might be a little bit hard to swallow is that typically with these kinds of charts, you don't set a stop loss. If you're doing AB the right way, it means that you're not buying way up here. You're not buying right here after it's made this big climb after a while. You're waiting to buy right there. Or you're waiting to buy right here. So we're being a little bit silly at 1893 because we want to get in front of this guy. Now, that's one way to do it, and 1893 will get filled fairly quickly. That's true. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what might happen is we might see a downward fall. So again, another good idea is to set a low take profit percentage, 10%, trailing of 2%. We're going to create this trade, call it good. Confirm, we're going to call this account. We're going to call it AB layer 1. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the chart to identify where the next layer down might be. And it seems like this price of 1730 might be the best next buy zone. Wait a second. I don't see 1730 here in this order book. 1730 is not showing up anywhere. Yeah, you're right. It's not there. I'm not going to be going off of the order book to look for past support and resistance zone, but this is very clearly obvious that this price will be respected. So I'm going to shoot for this range in a buy. So I'm going to shoot for 1737. I'm going to put the same size order. I have 0.026, so I'll just do 0.025 to make it nice and round. Round numbers are okay there. Don't freak out on me, okay? I'm going to choose 10% and leave it because if our chart falls down, we get these little pops up as it falls. This is a better deal. If you want to be a risk taker, you could, of course, put it all the way up to where you had your take profit before. So take profit condition was at 2082, so I could shoot for 2082 just under there, or 2084. There we go. There's 20%. So what was once 10%, now it's 20%. I'm going to create my second layer there. Can you guess what's going to happen next? That's right. We're going to look for our third layer just in case. Now this is pretty easy to spot. We can see a very clear support line right here in the chart. And this goes all the way back to November 21st. So I can see the price touches down even to that range right there. This is why I love these charts because they're so easy to identify. Look at that. So I'm going to put a buy just above that. I'll do 1567. There we go. I'm using the same amount. I'm going to take profit at the same price point as before. So it's the 20 or so, 2080. There we go. I'll be okay with 30%. And now this is our third layer down. And now I have 3 layers. Layer 1, 2, 3. I have my set buys at 1893, 1737, and 1567. And they're all aiming for that 2087 price to sell. Before we go any further, I want to say that this is not the best idea. The reason being is that, yes, this has popped up. It's shown some great moves, but what's better, to wait for these big pops or to get a quick return and then buy again lower? This is up to your trading style and your trading activity. So if you are patient and you don't mind watching it sink a little bit, go ahead. You can aim for these upper layers. It's fine. You could aim for even up here. This would be a safe place. But aiming for somewhere up here is a little bit foolish because we saw it pop up again. It could very well do it, but it's safer to get out with your profits here. This is just my opinion. It can't be considered trading advice. I'm just giving this for educational purposes. This is one instance of a chart with pretty good volume and pretty good spikes. But not all account building charts have spikes like this regularly. Let's take a look at another chart. Just take a minute and look at this chart. If you've never seen an account building chart before, this is a beautiful example. It has nice long wicks, incredible percentages like this, where it shoots up 47%, and it does it over the period of 6 days. That's a nice payday. That is fantastic. But the other thing that it does often too is it has these things right here, these lower wicks, and I call these guys fat fingers. This is a fat finger that drops 17%, meaning that when you see a fat finger like this, you can go ahead and just put your buy right there. And if you saw this fat finger drop, then in a day later actually, or so, even if you got right here, you could sell up to the same range and you can make 20%, just like that. This is easy, people. This is easier than you believe it to be. This is another great sign of an account building chart. Now this just looks like a bunch of candles and you can't see the percentages, but look at this. This has a trading percentage of nearly 30% in one day. If we go to the hourly, it's going to look a little bit scattered and messy, but look at all of this whippiness, all of this back and forth business that happens here. You can see that there is a clear line of support. I can use Alt H again here, and I can see a resistance line up here. That's plain as day to see. That's very simple. So what do? Do you buy the bottom and do you sell the top? No. You play the inner channel from about here to here, and then you wait for your orders to get filled on 3Commas, and you sell, you sell, you sell, you sell, you sell, you sell. And this isn't like 5%. This is a nice 12% over and over. And if we're looking at a day time frame, this channel right here lasted for, we're going to start from here. So if you saw it happen, then you could have caught it and played it for a nice 11 days. It goes below the channel and falls out, and that's okay because look what happens. Boom, boom, boom. You get 4 more chances to get out again. So what do you do with 3Commas on a chart like this? Well, the first thing you do is you identify a good place of support that you want to trade above. You want to find a heavy resistance point that you want to trade below. And because this is a very, very low volume chart, only 11 Ethereum in the last 24 hours. And of course, there was more Ethereum traded on these big wicks because they're pumps. There's more Ethereum traded on this one too. Don't let that deter you. This is still a great chart. So what do you do in a low volume chart situation? You have to use limit orders. You can't use market orders. I'm out of Ethereum here for Zinc because I've already placed my order. I'm going to actually go to the edit mode. You can see here my smart trade edit for Zinc that I have placed limit orders. I have split it 50-50 and I have a very small amount of Ethereum that I'm trading with. This is only 0.18 Ethereum. And because Ethereum has dropped so much, it is despicably low. But that's not deterring me because I am thinking long term, so I'm not bothered by that. And the whole point is that I want to have small amounts. Why? I want to blend in with the order book. I've set my buy for 48.07, which is right here. So I'm hoping to catch this wick down here. I might even have to fix it and put it right there because it could very well fall down there. I also looked at the order book to see are there any big substantial walls, and this one hasn't moved for a while at 48. Round number again. 4,800 is a round number. Not a good idea, but it's easy. It's easy just to type that in, isn't it? So I have my buy just above that person, so hopefully my order is small enough and it'll get filled. And then I have a sell at 57.68 and 7.21. So if I'm getting filled right here at 48.07 and it's 57.68, something like that, it's 20%. And then I'm looking for 70, something like that, and that's going to be 50%. Oh yeah, and this happens a lot. This is the beautiful thing about account building. What seems impossible to play is so easy. If I were to trade this chart just on KuCoin alone without 3Commas, could I have success? Yes, I could if this is all I did every single day and I put alerts on and I waited and I watched. But if I missed out on a sell opportunity or I didn't catch my alert that I bought, I'd have to wait for the next pump if it even happens. I'd have to wait for that next day and hoping that I get closed out of my sell. I don't like living like that. I like putting in a sell and a buy at the same time. Even if it's not a huge order, I like spreading out my order so that way I'm going to get a guarantee sell. People, you are missing out if you're not using 3Commas. This is how you grow your accounts. This is how you can go 100%, 200%, 3 times, 5 times your account in a month, just playing these charts over and over and over again. And the last tip I want to give to you about account building tips is this: don't leave a chart. Once you close a chart, you'll be so tempted to look for another one that's just like it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stick with the chart. Wait for it. Be patient. Scalp if you want to, if you're bored, but place and layer those buys. Then you can split targets, you can split up your sells, you can enable trailing and do all that business and let 3Commas close it for you with more profits than you would have done manually. And once you've closed it, put another buy again and don't move off that chart. The only time you move off of an account building chart is when it stops giving. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and saw the power behind using 3Commas to grow your account exponentially with account building charts. If you haven't already, please do join the 3Commas Telegram channel where you can chat with other traders like myself and ask questions about account building, bots, smart trades, settings, all that good stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.